say that Pratham's efforts have actually helped to get the global community to this point of actually better understanding where we need to focus some of our efforts and how we need to shift some of the goals that we're after. Pratham has begun to gather some of the first evidence around what does it take to change learning outcomes. And so, in some ways, Pratham is probably one of the most well-researched organizations out there. Some of the very first randomized controlled trials, which are sort of the gold standard for evaluation research, was done on Pratham looking at impacts on learning outcomes. And I would say that was really some of the first evidence where the evaluation was focused on learning as the outcome of interest as opposed to just access and completion. So I think that has also had a huge contribution to the way that the kind of global community is beginning to think about what we can do to improve the learning outcomes that OSSER has sort of shown a spotlight on. What has made Pratham successful, and why have they had what I consider quite an outsized influence, both within India and beyond? Pratham has a clarity around its mission that is so pervasive from the top of the organization all the way to the last person on the ground working in the field. All children should be in school and learning well. It's a powerful idea. It's an important problem to be solving. It's clear, and it's something that everyone within the organization deeply believes and can articulate to other people. The second thing that I would point to that makes Pratham successful is their focus on continuous learning and improvement. Not only have they been put themselves out to scrutiny by external evaluators, which I already mentioned, but they've also developed really strong internal systems to measure their work. So they have, within the OSSER Center, set up the Measuring, Monitoring, and Evaluation Unit, or the MME unit for short, which has built out a platform to really track the indicators that matter. And not only that, I think very impressively have built out a process for helping to digest that data with each of the state teams. It's easy for NGOs to sort of view measurement as sort of a box-ticking exercise, and let's get this done so we can share numbers with our donors or with others. But it goes much deeper in Pratham in terms of actually driving their decisions and improving their impact over time. The third piece that I think has made Pratham successful is that they look beyond their own programs. We are always looking for opportunities for our funding to have greater leverage beyond just direct service. Highly effective nonprofits both advocate and serve. So they aren't just about direct service. Direct service is important. It builds an understanding of what the issues are, what the challenges are on the ground. But they also use what they find through the direct service work that they're doing to advocate for broader policy and system changes. Freely sharing information, experience, talent, etc. with other nonprofits who can amplify that impact. And I think the best example of this, although there are many examples of Pratham's work influencing other nonprofits in India and beyond, is the way in which the OSSER assessment has now spread to 9 countries. So there are organizations in 8 countries outside of India who have been inspired by OSSER to start implementing similar assessments. The final point I wanted to make in terms of what has made Pratham successful actually has to do with all of you in this room. Because Pratham has, through the work of Pratham USA, largely, a pot of flexible funding that enables them to be successful in a way that other NGOs don't have the same privilege to do that. So organizations that are bound by funding from the likes of the U.S. Agency for International Development or other funders who give very specific project support over a short period of time. These are organizations that don't have the flexibility to really pursue the agenda that they think is most important. They don't always have the flexibility to adapt to changes in context in a way that it really enables their success. They don't always have the flexibility to take risks, to fail and then learn and improve their impact over time. And so I think the work that you all do to support Pratham, give them the flexibility to pursue the agenda that they think is important, has without a doubt made a huge impact on what they're able to succeed on the ground.
That was fabulous.